One of the ways that fear of failure sabotages us is that we don't plan our meals or track our progress. So if I don't know what I'm going to eat today, I'm much more likely to just fall into my habits and eat what I would typically eat, first of all. But second of all, if I don't know what I'm going to eat today, even if I want to take some time and plan a healthy meal, the moment that I'm trying to plan, so this minute when I should be eating or making the meal, I'm still trying to figure out what to eat. And now I've opened the door that I might get a snack. And again, my habits are going to send me towards the snacks I used to eat. We often fear failure because of the extreme guilt or shame that we feel when we fail. Those feelings usually come because of some kind of traumatic event that might have happened in our history. So maybe I did fail at something and it led to a devastating outcome for me or my family, or like something really bad happened. Or in my upbringing, in my earlier years, when I did fail, perhaps I was bullied for having made mistakes by parents or peers. So now when we translate this over into a diet situation, I might feel guilty if I eat off plan, or if my new way of eating has a negative impact on the people in my family or the people who are eating with me because they can't eat certain things around me. Or my shame could come from the fact that maybe I don't eat on plan, and then I feel like, okay, I'm a horrible person because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Fear of failing can also make us try to control every little part of a situation in order to make sure that I don't fail. This is problematic because it can lead to restrictive eating or calorie counting to try to be in a deficit so that we force our body into weight loss. This is very harmful to our health. And one of the ways that you can tell that this might be happening to you is that you're not eating to satiation, and that basically means that you're spending a good portion of your time feeling hungry. I've met many people who, when they're dieting, are eating such a small amount of bland salad because they're not putting salad dressing, and they're eating like really small amounts of meat, like what you would feed to a child. They're not getting enough nutrients in to build a healthy body. Fear of failure can cause you to feel unmotivated, overwhelmed, and discouraged. When we're overwhelmed, we just want things to be completed, done. We just want it to be over with. Now that's problematic because that might push me to use every trick I can find to try to speed up the process of weight loss. This is really problematic because I might end up doing things that, first of all, are not sustainable, but second of all, are damaging to my health, which is, well, it's kind of the opposite. If I'm trying to lose weight to be healthier, damaging my health isn't doing me any favors. When we're discouraged, we're much less likely to believe in the process, and therefore we're much less likely to stick to the plan. And so we eat off plan, causing issues. And when we're unmotivated, we might do things to try to push ourselves, like punish ourselves when we make mistakes. So if I eat off plan, so this is not making the diet enjoyable for me to do. All of these things are going to lead us back to emotional eating of comfort foods, because when we don't know what to do, we do our habits, and it's our habit to self-soothe with food. Now, this is extremely problematic because, first of all, it's going to reinforce this idea that I'm a failure, which is going to make me even more afraid of this because I can't seem to get past it. But second of all, and worst of all, I haven't solved my health issue. The whole reason I was doing the diet was to solve my health problems. We all know that everybody makes mistakes. And when our friends, family make mistakes, even colleagues at work make mistakes, we have compassion for them and we give them a second, third, fourth chance. And if they apologize, we forgive. Yet somehow, when it comes to ourselves, making mistakes it's not acceptable. And in order for us to solve our fear of failure, what we really need to do is have compassion for ourselves. When we understand that every new thing I try to do is going to take time, it's going to take practice and mistakes, I'm actually going to make mistakes before I know how to do it well, then I'm looking for myself. I know I'm going to make the mistake and I'm ready for it. And I'm going to be kind to myself when I see the mistake happen, because I understand I need to make some level of mistakes in order to succeed. I'm not saying we're going to excuse ourselves for purposefully doing the wrong thing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if I make a mistake, an actual, oops, I shouldn't have done that, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. So in order to do that, the second part of this idea is the way that I talked, positive self-talk. What that means is that rather than do the normal thing that we do, which is yell at ourselves in our mind when we make a mistake, and we probably learned that from the bullying that happened in our history, what we try to do instead is talk to ourselves kindly about that mistake. If I tell myself that I can do better and then work with myself to create some kind of plan to do better, then what I'm doing now is encouraging myself rather than getting mad at myself. Which brings us to the third thing that you're going to do for yourself, which is create realistic, achievable goals. What you're going to realize is that the reason that you failed was because you actually don't know how to do this new thing. And even if I planned something that I thought was going to work, only when I start doing it am I going to realize that it wasn't going to work. I use myself as the example. For a long period of time, I really wanted to work out. And I thought, well, people work out at the gym. I need to get myself to the gym. And I was having such a hard time getting myself to the gym. Eventually, my brother encouraged me to join with him and that we would just go together, and then I'd be going to the gym. And it was only when I joined with my brother and he would call me and we would go off to the gym, and so I was on a routine and I was going, did I realize I hate the gym. The gym is not the solution for me because I hate it. And even though I have someone to go with, I don't want to go. You need sometimes to fail at something, so trying it and realizing this doesn't work, to know to find something else, which I did find because I love doing activities. So I love longboarding and snowboarding and skiing and bicycling, and I actually do those activities. I needed to fail to find the one that was going to work. You might have 100 pounds to lose, but if you set that goal and say that's the goal and that's all you're looking at, chances are you're not going to be successful because, first of all, that's a goal that's going to happen way out into your future, and you're not going to have something right now that's pushing you towards that thing that's so far away. And I can tell you that losing 1 pound in a month, when you have 100 pounds to lose, starts to feel like it's a exercise in futility. Versus I have 100 pounds to lose and I set my goal to eat healthy every day this week and have a planned out meal plan for that eating healthy. At the end of the week, if I planned out my meal plan and I actually accomplished that, I'm going to feel great because I accomplished the goal I set for myself, even though I didn't lose the 100 pounds yet. Setting goals that are achievable and realistic is how we're going to be able to succeed when we're dieting. You want to make healthy changes gradually over time and yet swiftly at the same time. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Most people know that I talk about keto. And so when you're trying to start this path and get yourself in line with these new foods, the first thing I'm going to suggest you to do is look at all the foods you normally eat, pull out the ones that you can eat and still stay 20 grams or less per day. And then it's the other foods you're going to eat much less often. And then you're going to start looking for new foods that you can add to this if you need that kind of variety. So for myself, what I did, I kept all the meats that I was already eating with the spices that I was using to spice them so that they all tasted the same to me. I kept broccoli, which was a vegetable that I knew that I liked to eat. I kept my salad. I kept cauliflower, cabbage, and then I went and I added new vegetables that I had never eaten before. So kale and Swiss chard and a lot of vegetables that were lower in carbohydrate. I removed all the rice, potatoes, and things from my diet, and I used cabbage and these other lower glycemic vegetables that I was used to help me switch into some more lower glycemic vegetables that I got used to. And then over time, as I've gone forward, I've allowed myself to eat the things that are the lowest in carb, and I've been able to stay under, I would say, 5 grams of carbs per day myself. That's not the goal for everybody. Keto is 20 grams of carbs or less. I like to keep it that low because it helps me to feel my best. You're going to figure out your number, but it starts with making changes, and we don't need to overwhelm ourselves with those changes. Seek help. The biggest thing that you can do to help yourself be successful on your new journey is to have assistance. We can do professional help and we can do personal help. So my friends and family can actually help me. And my friends and family probably want me to succeed because they want to see that happy version of Violet again. So Pat was more than happy to cook meals a little differently to accommodate the new way that I was eating. The kids were more than happy to have 1 or 2 of their favorite junk foods in the house rather than having all of them all the time. And as a family, over the last 4 years, we've all eaten much healthier because of the change that I decided to make. And it wasn't a hardship for the kids because they have the flexibility when they go to their grandparents and other houses that they can eat whatever they want because it doesn't impact me, and my kids are not keto. The point is they were willing to help, right? Because they understood that it was going to help myself and Pat, because he joined me eventually, to be healthier. And then we all got to have more fun together. The other thing that we did to help ourselves as a family is we started celebrating with activities rather than celebrating with food. So my birthday, Pat's birthday, we do fun things rather than having cake, which isn't helping us. We also, if we are going to celebrate with food, celebrate with healthy foods. For example, having a steak and a nice salad instead of having cake. And there are more ways that you will find to celebrate that are not around food, or to help each other to stay on track with your diet. This isn't the exhaustive list. This is the beginning of the list. Seeking the assistance of a psychologist or social worker to help you manage your fear of failure is also something very important for you to do if, after going through this and trying to help yourself, you're not able to get it under control completely, because very likely if you're doing it with food, you are doing it in other areas of your life. My family was very helpful to me during my keto journey, and I still had challenges. If you want some inspiration on your journey, you can check out this video here. Click on the link. I'm gonna meet you over there.